Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that's simply not true.
In between battles in the House,
I wanted to welcome you to our class today.
And virtual visits to high schools, Justin Trudeau and his advisors have been feverishly preparing, bracing for an uncertain result next Tuesday.
Obviously, as a government, we prepare for multiple contingencies and multiple outcomes. If it is less clear, there may be some disruptions, and we need to be ready for any outcomes.
The Prime Minister called former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney this week for advice and brought together Canada's ambassador to the U.S. and the heads of all 13 Canadian consulates there for a meeting, something that did not happen 4 years ago.
All of the policy files will have been looked at very closely for either a Trump or a Biden win, and the binders on those, which is what they call them, will be closed at this point.
The Trudeau government has learned all too well that prep is vital. But what looms now is the specter of a contested election.
Canadian prime ministers rarely have anything to gain by weighing into U.S. domestic politics, and potentially they have a lot to lose.
We've been here before, kind of.
The recount is already underway.
The infamous hanging Chads forced a recount in Florida and left the results in limbo for weeks. Back then, Canada was distracted and in the middle of its own election campaign.
We really watched it like everybody else watched it, and we counted on the expertise in the Canadian Embassy in Washington to tell us what was going on.
This time, some say Canada could face more public pressure to wade in, not only because of these warm ties.
President Trump is not a very popular figure. The majority of Canadians would like to see a Biden victory.
The Prime Minister has indicated his government will sit tight and wait, clearly aware that to do anything else, such as show support for one side, would be too reckless. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Ottawa.